Yeah. I mean, obviously we had a moment when he was drafted. We all got an opportunity to be together as a family in New York. When he was drafted by the Lakers, we had a moment there because we were just thinking about not too long ago what the scare happened, and when he's able to grace the NBA floor, if that's tonight or whenever the case may be, it'll be another one of those moments just to know the adversity that he went through. And I got a couple of family members that's had heart surgeries, and some of them older, some of them younger, and to know how long it kind of takes to get back to yourself, to see him be able to play in a college Division I game the same year that he had heart surgery was like a wow moment. And I knew that at that moment that it was really going to be nothing to stop him from getting to anything that he wants to do. And he wanted to continue to play basketball. That was kind of like one of the first things he asked. He asked the doctors, after his heart surgery, like, when can I play again? Like, when can I play again? Not like how long it's going to take for my heart to heal, or not how long I was in surgery, or none of those. He asked, when can I play again? I was a fan of Ken Griffey Jr. and then became a friend of Ken Griffey Jr. Throughout my professional career, and just understanding the history of sports, to be able to see what they was able to do when Griffey Jr. went to Cincinnati, and them being together, and then also when he was younger in Seattle, them being on the field. I always kind of reminded of that one play when it was a pop field in center field, and Griffey Jr. just snuck in and took it from his dad, and I was like, pretty cool. That was a pretty cool moment. It was a pretty fun moment. So, to be here today and to know that those guys will be in attendance tonight. While me and Bronny is on the same team. It's just a pretty cool moment in the history of sports.
They played together 2 seasons, and the first season they played together, they hit back-to-back home runs.
Yeah.
What would be the basketball equivalent of you and Ronnie playing together in a basketball game, of accomplishing something like back-to-back home runs?
They hit 2 home runs when they was in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty. Probably 2 lobs. If I catch a lob and then Bronny catch a lob, that'd probably be equivalent of that. Obviously the long ball is something that's a big time in baseball. So probably 2 lobs. No different than me getting ready for any other game, but just the feeling of being in our home arena for the first time playing a game like this is a special experience.
Do you know if you're going to play tomorrow?
I don't.
Brian, you've been pretty consistent with us. It seems like you're very focused on what's immediately in front of you, but the next time you step into a game, it'll be a fulfillment of a dream you've had for a long time, and that dream's had pretty big speed bumps. Will you allow yourself to reflect on any of that in the moment, to kind of soak in kind of your journey a little bit, or you're going to have to play defense on that?
Yeah, I don't feel like there'll be time to do all that, especially like checking right into the game and heated moments. I'll probably take time to do that afterwards.
Kobe.
Nope.
Will.
Nope.
Kareem.
Nope.
Shaq.
Nope.
James Worthy.
Nope.
LeBron.
No. You got anything else?
I mean,
Look up the Raptors sometime.
Jerry West.
There's one.
Elgin Baylor.
Elgin Baylor. So to join those
Cut
names.
that part out. Wait.
To join those names, obviously there's so much history of this franchise, but does it make you think about what you're accomplishing here, or maybe what you could accomplish with what's left of your Laker tenure?
You said that like I'm about to.
No, I mean
Check your phone. No, like I said, I think it's just the way the team is playing. Guys are making big time shots. We're making the right plays. Obviously the schematics that Jay put in, it's just helping me out, helping everyone out, and we just have so much space, and we're having fun doing it. That's one of our pillars is joy, and we just having fun playing basketball. And even when we were down 22, no one was pointing a finger, no one was rattled. We just settled into the game and just knew what we had to do, and we ended up doing it. But just having fun playing basketball, and
Nah, man, listen, I could do that at 22, but at almost 40, I don't need to be doing it for 4 quarters. I have the luxury of, having an MVP caliber player next to me. AR can get it going, and switches. D'Lo can catch fire. Rory has been consistent. He can get going and scoring bunches as well. So, you know, it's not, this team is not built for me to you know, have, you know, 16-point quarters through all 4 quarters. It's not how it's constructed, and nor should it be. You know, we're a team and we all have to play together.
It's a team effort. You know, he has guys around him. They play well. You know, obviously De'Aaron Fox led the league last year in fourth quarter clutch shots, and that's who usually likes taking those shots toward the end of the game. But I don't get into all that. I mean, I don't care. You know, you know, he's a hell of a player. You know, all-star, and shit, he was just on a whole Netflix show about him. You know, so, you know, he's one of the premier bigs in this league. So definitely hats off to him on what he's able to do on the floor of both ends. We just tried to, you know, be aggressive and just get the team win tonight.
Well, I was going to do it the day of the game in Cleveland, but I didn't want it to overshadow you know, the whole hoopla of me and Bronny going back home. That's when I planned on doing it. So I figured yesterday would be a good day. Everything was kind of silent, and I wanted to make sure that it's seen, heard, and heard with force. So, you know, having a daughter, having a wife, having a mother, you know, and things of that nature, what she believes in when it comes to women's rights, when it comes to the future, you know, with my kids and where I see our country should be. You know, I feel like that endorsement is only right. It is. You know, come on, man. You guys know me. I damn sure won't go the other way.
What is your experience in 2020 with Mormon and Vote? Teach you about politics, show you about politics, show you about the impacts you can have in a very specific way?
Well, I mean, it all started with you know, the shut up and dribble, you know, thing, obviously, and to be able to be in a position where you can have some influence, and you have a lot of people who, you know, who want to be in a position to have influence, to be able to speak outside of their realm, if it's sports or if it's you know, the music or movies or whatever it is, whatever the industry is, to be able to have a platform where, you know, I was able to gather, you know, a lot of men and women to be able to speak out from that moment, and then, you know, more in the Vote campaign, obviously, an initiative was great, and I'm even grateful now that it's still going. I got some beautiful ladies that's you know, holding that down right now. Mecca Gunka is one of really good dear friend, and you know, she's picked a great lineup of great people to be able to continue that, because we know how important it is. So it was, you know, very humbled to be able to have that, like you said, that year, and have it to be able to continue to go now. I mean, he has so many. I mean, obviously the 50-point game versus Sixers in the postseason, the rookie windmill, two-hand windmill backwards dunk versus Indiana on Chris Mullins, went around Chris Mullins, Rick Smith trapped the box. I mean, to me, the lob in preseason down at the University of North Carolina, we got that windmill. I mean, there's a ton. There's too many to name, obviously, and obviously the dunk contest. When he shut down the dunk contest and, you know, gave you the it's over signal. So he has all.
81st, just what were you feeling physically going into that timeout in the fourth? You were clearly able to stay in, but what was going on there? Is it just something you figure you have to manage, or?
I don't know. No, I mean, talk to the trainer, or my trainer, and just kind of figure out what's exactly going on. You know, I've been managing it since this summer, honestly, and just, you know, trying to do everything for a game, be on the floor. And just kind of just landed, got right on the spot that's been killing me. There's two different teams right now. One game, you know, we're, you know, this team who showcased to be one of the better teams in the league than the Knicks. We're this team who I don't even know who we are, so just gotta be better. It's on the starters, start the game, obviously, but we just gotta be better as players to come out, execute the game plan, and do what we're supposed to do on both ends of the floor. Some halves we get it, some halves we don't, some quarters, we do, some quarters we don't. So, we gotta put the full 48 together, but we can't continue to do this if we expect to do anything this season.
I think Cam could be, a major piece for us. It's someone that I've, got really close with in this past, year and a half since he's been on the team. Genuine dude, cares about all the right things. And when you see, a guy like that get an opportunity to go out there and show what he can do and do that, it means a lot to the group. Because, like I said, I think he can do a lot for us, not just on the defensive side of the ball. I think everybody forgets how talented he is. Coming out of high school, he's one of the best players. Coming out of college, he's one of the best players. And, that's still there. We got to empower him to be himself. And but I think if there was any positive from tonight, he would be the lone bright spot with the way he came in and competed.
Energy alone, the inspiration that he gives to the younger generation alone is was huge for our league, and it's great to have him back out there for sure.
Even in a loss, obviously, that's what the main goal. But the game within the game, going back and forth with him, how do you kind of relish those moments?
Two guys from the inner city that love to compete. That's what we all grew up. Playing on the blacktop, playing outside, and competing at a high level when there was no cameras around. There was a bunch of just shit talking and going out and playing the game. And that's what the essence of the game is all about.
Scotty.
It's pretty cool that with the amount of miles I've put on the tires and the lack of tread that's on these tires, and I'm still able to get up and down the highway and do it at a high level. And I think I just try to give everything to the game outside of the game before the game even starts, if that makes sense. I arrive here 4 or 5 hours before the game, and I'm already starting to, do all the things to put me in position to be the best I can be when the fans are in here and the ball is tipped and everybody's going crazy, So I've been blessed by the man above with some out of this world ability from the beginning, and then I just took full advantage of it, and I wasn't going to disrespect what he's given me, and let's see how long I can do it. But I won't do it till the wheels fall off. I tell you that. I won't do that. I won't be one of those guys. Appreciate it.